Welcome. How are you doing today? We fucking made it, dude. There is still, snow here and there. Not a lot. But yesterday, a lot of it melted. And now there's just water everywhere. But then last night, it froze again. So all of the melted snow just turned into a bunch of sludgy puddles that then froze again. Love that for us. I kind of started to lose my shit earlier this week because, a lot of my family members didn't have power of any kind or a heat source for 5 days. And I kept seeing people on the internet being like, well, where's your fucking generators?
We don't have those.
And making fun of us because we're not used to cold weather. And then other people saying that if basically Texas deserves what we got because we voted the way that we voted. I'm a registered Democrat, but I don't think it fucking matters who I voted for, because I didn't vote for my fucking grandma who's in her 80s to be without any sort of power or heat in 7-degree weather for days. I don't really, I don't fucking like Ted Cruz, but I don't think that people who voted for Ted Cruz deserve to have their fucking pipes in their ceiling bursting and then leaking water that forms icicles into their home, and the grocery stores are closed because they don't have power, and there's no fucking food there anyway because the fucking trucks can't get there. I didn't vote for that. I don't think anybody deserves that. Maybe that's just my fucking hippie liberal hot take. Can you imagine if people were saying shit like that during Hurricane Harvey? Imagine. Well, fucking Houston was underwater. If people had been like, you know what? It's your fault for electing these shitty officials and politicians who didn't fucking hurricane-proof your life, and why is it? I don't know, man. I really lost it, and I think do you ever just get so upset that you just kind of get overwhelmed and kind of just blank out periods of time because you were angry crying because strangers on the internet are being mean to Texas?
Hey, how y'all doing?
But yeah, I had to stop checking my Twitter notifications because I realized, Danielle, you don't need to be arguing with strangers who don't live in Texas. Go home, Utah. Pack it up, Vermont. So I didn't check my notifications until today, and I started to kind of look back very carefully through my notifications. Most of them were normal. They're my Twitter friends. I like them. Fantastic folks. But then I did see one where someone, I guess, quote tweeted me, and they started with my name and a comma, as if they begun their tweet with Danielle. And I was like, I'm not clicking on that. I'm not even gonna read it. Whoever their fucking following is, they can see me and they can shit all over me if they want. But, my family has power and heat again. I don't know what my cousin's gonna do about the fucking busted pipes in her ceiling because all the plumbers are busy. But this is my first time leaving the house in an entire week. I got fucking lucky, dude. We're on a well, so municipal water was not a concern. But without power, our well doesn't pump. So if we lose power, we lose water. And we didn't lose power. I don't know how. Thank fucking God, though. But there were points, man, that my boyfriend was like, baby, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I'm so cold. And it was 65 degrees in the house. And I was like, hang in there, babe. you're gonna pull through. And then I went and turned up the thermostat to 71. God, I really am going to have to make up some stories about how, like, I suffered with the rest of everyone else, because I feel guilty. You know? I just, stayed home for a week and lost my entire fucking mind. Preparing to lose power. Just when you're, like, I just sat there waiting. Because we've lost power so many times. And not even, like, rotating outages. Like, one of the storms where the barn roof flew off, we've had a few of those times. Yeah, like, we lost power in the middle of the night, and, like, the wind was so intense that water was just, like, kind of leaking through all of the windows, and, that happens sometimes, depending on how hard it's raining, but, we lost power in the middle of the night, and we didn't have it again for, like, 24 hours. So you wake up, and you're like, oh, man, like, I want to take a shower because I've been sweating all night because there's no air, but then you can't take a shower because there's no water, and you fucking can't use the toilet because you can't flush it. That's not my favorite thing. But, like, this has happened to us before, so I'm really fucking thankful that we did not lose power in this storm. Shout out to Electric, because of all of the companies in Central Texas, Electric had the least number of customers without power. Oh, right, so yes, I have not left the house since I went out last Saturday for birdseed right before the freeze, and then we ran out of birdseed because we couldn't go anywhere for a week. And my boyfriend's, one of his 4 fucking cars has 4-wheel drive, so he was able to make it out to the store to get me cigarettes. But he did try to buy more birdseed, and they were out. They didn't have any birdseed. He considered buying, like, a whole new bird feeder that was, like, already filled with seed, but they were sold out of those too. So at least I know that other people in the area are looking after the birds in the storm. I think that's really sweet. So I've made it to Schlotzsky's in Bastrop. This is the only place I ever go. And the line is long. I'm curious what they have, because they probably haven't been open in like a week, and they probably have not been able to get any deliveries either. And people are driving kind of like jerks.
Don't be a jerk.
I mean, there's still snow on the roads. Like, just be a little bit more thoughtful, I guess. Several miles back, between my home and town, I saw there was like a wreck, and there was multiple emergency vehicles there. It was like in the oncoming lane, and nobody was like directing traffic. So we were just trying to figure out who was gonna share the eastbound lane that I was in. And it seemed like it was only one car, but it was upside down, and maybe that car already was missing a driver's side door. But it looked like they had to rip it off to get the driver out. But I did see him sitting up in the back of the ambulance. Like, so, he wasn't like on a stretcher with like a sheet over him. He's alive. But yeah, I figured people would be a little bit more careful. I know that, like, we have sunshine and it's like 60 degrees now, but I mean, there still could be dangerous conditions. And regardless, you shouldn't drive like a rude person. I don't think you should do that. I was worried though when I left today that like I was going to get stuck in my own yard. It's happened before. There was a time a couple years ago that I had to call into work because my car had gotten stuck in the mud at my own house and I couldn't get it out. Kitty litter. I ordered a package over a week ago and I paid for FedEx 2-day, but obviously, like, not 2-day, but 2-day shipping, which obviously it didn't happen because of the storm, and so it took over a week to arrive. But the FedEx driver showed up in a U-Haul. I guess that's a thing that they're doing to deliver my package. And he got stuck in the mud in my yard. Like outside of the fence, but like I guess they thought that they could like turn around. It's a dirt road. I don't know. They're probably not used to driving out where I live in these conditions. But yeah, I woke up this morning because my dogs were barking and going nuts and I could hear dudes hollering. And I looked out the front window and my boyfriend was out there like rolling in the mud next to this car that's stuck in front of the house, trying to help get them out. And I think what ended up happening is the neighbor across the street happened to show up, even though they haven't had water for like 3 days, so they went and stayed somewhere else. He ended up coming by and he was able to like tow the car back out onto the road. So yeah, getting stuck in my own yard, there's not a way to like back out and turn around without driving through the yard. We don't have a paved driveway. Like the soil we've got is like clay, so it gets real weird when there's a lot of rain.
Thanks for talking. I'll be right with you.
Okay, take your time.
Banker Mansion, I take your order, please?
How are you doing?
I'm another day in paradise. Where can I get you today?
Do y'all have like, can I get like a medium French dip?
Okay, one French dip.
And then can I get a medium fresh veggie?
With the add avocado.
Yes, please.
Okay, what's next?
Can I get the fresh veggie with extra cheese?
Okay.
And I think that'll do it. Thank you. He did not want to be asked how he was doing. I'm sure everyone all day has been like, how'd you make it through the storm? And he's like, I skated to work. Do it.
Thanks. I'll see you at the window 1892. Thank you.
Thank you. $18 for two like just upping the price. Their menu change, like I don't think they have it anymore, but they used to have like a large, which was like a very large sandwich, and at some point like they really didn't want to serve it anymore, so they started like, but yeah, I feel like at one point in time, this is probably like 10 years ago, but you could get like the big one for like $10, but when they switched they had to charge you system for two individual sandwiches. Then it was two sandwiches. It ended up being like $16. Back at the kitchen and be like, in June of 2019, I went out to visit my uncle in Round Top. I loved that because I would get.
And I took 2 of those giant sandwiches with me. That was the entire point, is that I went out of town and I took 2 giant sandwiches with me. Lit, bruh.
I was so worried about him during Hurricane Harvey. I went out to visit my uncle in Round Top. Because that's a thing that happens. And, oh shoot, I need to check on.
Alright, here we go.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you're safe. Have a great day. Telling him, like, no matter what happens, do not go into the Hi.
1892, sweetie.
I guess now, and A week. Well, I'm glad.
I love my job.
I need to remember to check the mailbox too. I didn't even because we have not checked it all week. They have my sandwiches. I'm just gonna stop at a gas station because go check the mailbox. Please. I have, but I have to go to work tomorrow. I appreciate him looking out for me. It was closed for. Isn't it nice that? Well, I don't want to remember to check them home all week. I asked a couple of days ago, like, if my boyfriend thought that it would be safe. On the other side, and he told me I was.
You know, girl. You know what I'm talking about.
Car that has 4-wheel drive, but that he did not think I should try to drive. Just gonna turn it around. Oh, it's over here. Okay. I'll use the. Well, I wonder if there's. I just don't really want to drive on the snow, even at a. You know, like. Oh, okay. I can go to the sunny side of the pump. I had to cancel my not sponsored. I got gas. I got some big energy for auto repair appointment.
This one, he's the guy.
Last week because of weather. I don't know why. Maybe that's what happens when you don't. I imagine that I'm going to have to be working for been closed for a week.
It was her. Good job.
Something interesting that happened. Oh my gosh, my. But my cousin went to stay with a friend for a few days while her out and her pipes were busted. And y'all, the actor, anyway, famous actor. Well, he showed up. Adrian, I don't know if it's Grenier or Grenier. I've never heard it said out loud. Staying with I've never paid attention to him. I know that he was in Drive Me Crazy with Melissa Joan Hart. Was it her? My cousin was staying with her. Pipes didn't bust. They're trying to figure out, like, is the shit coming out of your nice thing to do, because when shit like this happens, like.